it's no longer me selling myself to them. It's me showing them how I'm going to sell their house and what price point they want to be at.
Just to kind of get started, could you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're at and how long you've been in real estate?
Sure. Well, I've been in real estate for a little over 15 years. I started when I got out of the Marine Corps. I'm a prior Marine. Was it? So over here, I'm a prior Marine. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I actually became an electrician. When I was an electrician, I learned a lot of the other trades and commercial and residential. And then I started to get into flipping. So me and my wife started getting into the investment process of it. And that's where we started learning about flipping and real estate. And we did that for almost 10 years before we moved to Texas. We moved to Texas. We couldn't find a good real estate agent that wanted to do what we wanted them to do. Mm-hmm. So my wife had a job change opportunity, and that's when we decided to make that change and get into real estate full time. So we both got our license about the same time. She went back to doing what she was doing before. I took to real estate like a duck to water. Mm-hmm. Real estate obviously was my thing to start doing and getting into. Mm-hmm. I'm a people person. I used to be in sales, like pretty much all my life. I was into some sort of a sales. When I found your books, I stumbled upon them. And I was like, how ironic, because I actually came from Florida. I grew up in Tampa. And me and my wife, we lived in Naples before we moved over here to Katy or Houston, just outside of Houston, Texas. Yeah. So I loved them. They felt like they really did felt like I wrote them, because a lot of and I sent you guys a lot of input, by the way, for the investment book. I know you guys probably already had a lot of that, but I sent you guys a lot of input and for more books and things like that. And then that's when I found out about Authorify. Mm-hmm. Because it was like one of your partner companies, I believe, at that particular time. But I really loved all the training you guys had and everything you had for the agents. Now, I was just starting to build my team at that time, and so I really loved it because it was a way that I can actually provide something for my agents, mm-hmm. and that we can give our clients to show our knowledge and to help them out during the process. Now, I know you guys talk about a lot about the sales aspect of it and how it helps the buyers, but this also helped me as an agent by cutting down an hour conversation that we used to have, another separate meeting on the home buying process. So I can say, hey, here's this book, read it at your leisure, because it's a nice little quick reads, nothing like too like in depth where it's going to overwhelm you, because I'm overwhelming you with documents and everything else. And this kind of gets them into it. Right. Now, how we've been using the book is, I use it for my team and training. It just gives us that authorify. Mm-hmm. Gives us the show us that, we're the leading authority in real estate in our area. But it really helps, like when we're doing open houses. We have the new home buyer. We have actually 3 books set out during open houses. We have the first-time home buyer book. We have the buyer's book, and we have the business card book, which is our listing presentation or the listing book, because those are the 3 people that normally come to open houses. You're going to have the neighbors that are coming to check you out, which is really a job interview, which most people don't do. And I believe you guys teach that as well, that, when people come in there, it's not always the buyers and sellers, it's a job interview. You're pretty much talking to the people, and they're seeing you and what you can do and your abilities. So This is your time to shine, not just sell that house. Right. Absolutely. I mean, every open house is an opportunity to get another listing, because like you said, you're going to have the nosy neighbors that are walking in, and that impression that you make on them, who knows, maybe next week you might be getting a call from them saying, hey, I'm putting my house up on the market also. So I had to reach down and grab something for you. The sellers were. I'm gonna lift the veil of secrecy for a second. If you don't mind that's all up to you. No, it's fine. No, absolutely. If I can figure out how to use use this virtual background stuff. Okay, so I wanted to be able to show you my package. This is one of the things that you guys teach, right?
Yeah.
And you guys in the materials that you guys provide. And I did exactly that. I went online and I found these Ziploc bags so I can drop off my books to, you know, prospective buyers and sellers and things like that. And I have packages of those. So I do a lot of the things that you guys suggest to do. And it really works out a lot for us. So it's very helpful, and it really makes the whole process a lot easier. So we can concentrate doing on what we do best, helping them sell their house or helping them find a house.
Right. How well has it worked on, you know, kind of making all of your leads, the warm leads, you know, to where when you do set up that initial appointment, they already know kind of who you are and what you're about?
So that has changed as far as listings. It changed our how our listings went and our listing packages. So before we were giving presentations and we were talking at them what we can do and things, right? Well, when I'm sending them the book, that's pretty much my listing presentation in a nutshell. And then I just send them my website and a couple of other things now just through an email. And when I follow up with them, when I set the listing appointment, it's no longer me selling myself to them. It's me showing them how I'm going to sell their house and what price point they want to be at. So where I used to have maybe an hour and a half like listing presentation, now it came to be a coffee coffee table presentation of about 30 minutes of let's pick the right price for your house.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's really working to cut out all of that, you know, that whole conversation of this is why you need to trust me. And you're in that conversation. You've already bypassed all that. And now you're in this is what we're going to do.
We circumvented it.
That's awesome. No, that's great to hear. We love hearing that, you know, from our members about how it's all coming together for them.
And then it really helps, of course, of all the ones that are on the fence. And then the great thing is it's an actual physical book. So it's an actual physical book. So what they can do is they get to keep it and they just pass it on to the next person, right? So when they have their friends and family, they're like, I've already read this. You're thinking about this. Hey, my real estate agent wrote this book. Here you go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this is a great collaboration of thoughts and ideas. This is our team book. Here you go. Somebody on our team can help you out.
You know, are you able to, do you know how many listings or sales that you can attribute to your book and the materials? It's
a hard thing to attribute to because, you know, you're pushing yourself out there. You're doing that. I just say more often than not, it just makes the whole transaction or the whole process a lot easier, right? And then you're not fighting so much for the listings because now what you're doing is the buyers, you're fighting just to get them to where they need to be. So it's about where they need to be and where they need to get to, right? I know it sounds kind of vague, but if you're a listing agent or a buying agent, you know what I'm talking about. We got to get them pre-qualified. We got to make sure their credit's in order. We got to make sure that what time frame they need to leave by in order to get the next house. But so they need to really concentrate on all that, and so do you. So this helps take that away. So that way they can concentrate and figure that out. But one of the number one things, which is our slogan, which you guys feel free to use, whoever sees the video, is we take the pain, anxiety, and stress out of real estate so you can concentrate on what's important. And that's our kind of our little motto. Like my little niche marketing thing is that I treat every transaction as it's my own. And that's why I have 5-star reviews, and that's why I have such good built such a good reputation in our community. So one of the ways that we do that is through the books and through the training materials, through the emails that we send them, you know, through the videos. We you know, we've taken some of the things in our books, we shot videos on it, and we shoot them to the things. You guys provide so much material and content that it makes not only the sales process easier, but it takes a lot out of our marketing and advertising time and effort. Like a lot of people spend a lot of time building CRM systems and touchbacks and stuff like that. And you can take a lot of that out of it just by using the books. So it's about a conversion thing, right? How many, which your original question was, how many would you attribute to doing that? Well, it's hard to say because it's so integrated into everything. I can say it's at least 20 to 30% in every sale that we get.
Wow.
So it's not just one or two of them as an antiquated thing. It's in almost every sale, which we've been selling a lot. So it must be really working.
That's great to
we've
hear.
been working with more buyers and sellers that I can deal with, and we've been hiring people on our team just to try to take care of it all. I've been trying to hire, and we hire a third-party company to hire to try and take care of all the lead generation, so we can just concentrate on just doing appointments.
Well, that's great. I mean, so having all this stuff, I mean, what does it do for you and your team members? Just confidence, going in, that you don't have to have that conversation where you're selling yourself.
Confidence is a huge part of it. For one of them, I've been a real estate agent for a little bit. I've been in real estate for a little bit more than most of the people that I deal with. And I'm also a real estate coach. I don't know if I ever told you that before, but, obviously I've built a team and, but I'm also a real estate coach as well. And one of the things that we do is I turn them to you guys because this actually does a lot of the coaching work for me, because this is a confidence builder. What builds confidence? Knowledge, right? The stuff in your books and the training that you have is the things that 90%, and I can tell, I came from some of the largest like brokerages around, like KW in our area, Abbey Realty, and Texas Ally. Training is like one of the major things that they're missing as far as the individual. How do you do this? What do you do to get the advertisement, the lead generation, the stuff like that? You guys provide it all. It's amazing, which I really enjoy. But my agents, my new agents, they can just walk in. My buyer's agents, they walk in as soon as they meet them and say, listen, we got this book especially for you. We were thinking of you when we got it, and now this is my gift to you. Read it at your leisure. This is going to take a lot of your questions you have about buying, selling out of it. If you have any questions, in addition to what you've already read and the information you got in there, feel free to give me a call at any time and ask me. I mean, quick, simple conversations you have, and the confidences in the agents is now really high. It's to the top level where they need to be buying and selling. So now they're not questioning themselves about their knowledge or their experience. And the same thing with us. It's not even a second thought to me.
Yeah.
As far as confidence.
That's awesome. I mean, confidence, it's one of those things. It's like, you put on your best looking suit, you're feeling great. You know that you're just like, it's part of that, having that confidence and just being, it makes the conversation so much better because you're not in your own head second guessing. And when you're having a conversation with somebody, that's so easy to read when you're doing that. Yeah.
And one of the books, one of the buyer's books, that has they have stories in it about pitfalls of like other people that have gone into, and they were like, "Hey, I read your book. That was so funny. That story, I love it. That really spoke to us." And I'm like, I am so glad it spoke to you. Let's not do that. Let me show you what we were supposed to do right.
That's awesome. So I'm interested, you talked about the open houses, and that is something I've talked to a couple agents over the course of the year or so that I've been with the company. And, how do you, so you said you have your 3 different ones that you set out, what are those conversations like when somebody comes by and sees those books sitting out?
Well, You know, a lot of people, they have their own agents and they're represented by their own agent, right? Well, one of the things, you know, is that you put out there is reciprocity. Reciprocity is a big business word they teach you when you go to business school, like I did. So when you actually, they say, oh, I already have an agent, you'd be like, okay, well, I don't know if they've given you information about, you know, being a first-time home buyer. I know you're represented by them, but just let your agent know that I'm not soliciting business from you, but I wanted to give this as a gift to you as a first-time home buyer. You may not get their business, but it is going to build, they will talk about you, and it's going to build their reputation. They may not use that real estate agent with their friends and family. They may go back to you. Or when they sell that house, you know, they'd be like, hey, listen, you gave me this book when I was doing that. By the way, I'm selling my house too. I have that buyer's agent, but I have no one listing my house. Do you want to list my house for me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know, it's one of those things, like if you're in the real estate game, it's a long-term game. So that book is just, it's there to help that.
And that's one of the things where it's hard to antiquate, like, you know, a time frame or how many leads you're getting at that particular moment, because everyone thinks of real estate as being a now thing. It's not. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So a lot of those people that are going to your open houses, they're not looking to buy right now. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about, you know, their future. You know, we just got married. We're going to probably rent for another year and then buy next year, or we're coming up with a plan. Great. Let me simplify that for you and get your plan started. So I give this book to them and I say, this is your first step. You know, read it, you know, at your own time, and then, you know, periodically look at it as you're going through the home buying process, or as you get closer to where you need to be to buy a home.
Yeah.
Let me know, give me a call, let me know what your next step is.
Right. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. You know, I think, like I said, it's always so great to be able to share our stories, you know, share your guys' stories with the fellow members, to just kind of give them that extra inspiration.
But one of the things I got to say that for agents, just as far as agents, physically read these yourself. There's a lot of training and information in here that is just great stuff. Besides the books themselves, you could take this all away, and the additional support and the additional training you have, I believe, is worth the money.
Awesome.
So it was definitely a no-brainer investment for me. Oh, here you go. It was also a no investment. These are like some of my co-op people that have helped people pay for my books, and we bought a lot of them. And you know something? It really was a no-brainer for them too.
Yeah. So you actually, you have, you know, there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, my mortgage company, my insurance people. It's all the people that I normally I have vetted and I used. So it's all my title people company, my mortgage company people. And I presented this idea to them when I started buying the books, and they bought the rest of the books for me because they saw that it was a wise investment, and it doesn't matter if they used me or not. They got advertising in here, and this is something they're going to keep.
Right. So how did you approach that? Because I think that's one of those things that we have a lot of people ask us about, and finding, you know, having that real life story of how that was approached would be great.
So there's a ton of ways. Oh, well, great. Come on.
Good.
Focus. Okay. I don't know. This is the Zoom meeting thing. Yeah. But so real estate is a business. Okay. You really have to look at it and treat it as a business. Okay. These people that you're working with, you're partnering with, they have certain amount of funds actually allocated because they're trying to build their business. My mortgage guy, for instance, I'll start off talking about him. Mm-hmm. His company realized they were spending money for leads. They were trying different things to help build them and build their business. They figured out the best and easiest way to do that is just support their agents. Mm-hmm. Why spend money on advertising themselves when it really doesn't help them when their agent's going to refer them the mortgage company they're most likely going to deal with. So for them, it was a no-brainer. It's, what do you need? Show me where you want me to put the money for you, because you're bringing me a lot of business. You can bring success stories. You can give him a call. I shoot him 5 leads a day.
Yeah.
So if I'm shooting him 5 leads a day, how many? It's not about am I going to be in your books or I'm going to order books for you. It's how many do you want to buy this time?
Right.
We're also doing other things like before COVID, which I bought a ton of books before COVID, because we were doing buyer seminars and seller seminars. You can do seller seminars, guys, by the way. I was doing buyers and seller seminars, and now we're doing them. This year, we're going to be doing them virtually online. I didn't think people were interested in them until I started asking buyers. And then they were like, yeah, we want a buyer seminar. We looked for it. We couldn't find it. And I was like, okay, we'll start doing buyers and seller seminars where I'm giving him some of the information. I'm introducing him to my vendors, and then all my vendors are in here. Now, the insurance people, they were another one with the title company that I close with all the time. They were big supporters of the book, so they thought it was genius. They're like, seriously? What company is that? I want to get I have other agents that I need to have into this because they're struggling in real estate. And I said, absolutely, here you go. Here's my referral code. Right. No, but I absolutely, suggested doing this, and there was a no-brainer for them to be in the book. I gave them actually a sample of one of the books that I already had printed out and to go over, and they're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. How much do you want? And how many do you want to order?
Yeah. Well, that's excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Not a problem. Thank you.